This is not a love story. This is the true story of Titanic. People like to remember Titanic as a love story. Jack and Rose. Poor boy, rich girl. Fate, sacrifice, violins on a sinking ship. And yes, as a movie, it's beautiful. Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet were incredible. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Titanic was never a love story. Titanic was a chain reaction of human error, bad decisions, misplaced confidence, and a brutal lesson written in steel, ice, and cold Atlantic water. And once you strip away the romance, what's left is one of the most fascinating scientific and engineering tragedies in human history. This is the real story of Titanic. The greatest ship ever built. In 1912, Titanic wasn't just the biggest passenger ship in the world. It was the biggest moving object humans had ever created. 8 to 82 feet long, 46,000 gross tons, capacity for more than 3,500 people. Nothing like it had ever existed. It was part of a trio, the Olympic-class liners, Olympic, Titanic, and Britannic. Olympic survived decades at sea. Britannic hit a German mine during World War I and sank in under an hour. But most people survived. Only Titanic earned immortality. And here's the haunting part. Titanic's death was already written the day it was born. The iceberg was never special. The iceberg that killed Titanic didn't come from nowhere. It carved off a Greenland glacier more than 3,000 kilometers away. A 75 million ton mass of ice formed from snow that had been falling for 100,000 years. And yet, it wasn't rare. It wasn't unique. It was just one of roughly 40,000 icebergs formed every year. Most never reach the open Atlantic. Ocean currents trap them. They melt. They die quietly. But 1912 wasn't a normal year. That year, an unusually large number of icebergs crossed south of the 48th parallel. Something that almost never happens. Today, the International Ice Patrol exists only because of Titanic. Some years they report 0 icebergs that far south. In 2007, they tracked 324. Titanic sailed in one of those rare years. Mistake number 1. Design over safety. 2 years before Titanic ever touched water, a meeting sealed its fate. The ship's chief designer, Alexander Carlisle, argued for safety. The ship's owner, J. Bruce Ismay, argued for spectacle. The grand staircase had to be magnificent. So magnificent that the watertight bulkheads, designed to trap flooding, were built lower than they should have been. Only 3 meters above the waterline. That single design choice meant one thing. Once water spilled over the top, it would cascade forward uncontrollably. Mistake number 2. Lifeboats that ruined the view. Titanic could have carried 64 lifeboats. Enough for more than 4,500 people. Far more than everyone on board. But Ismay didn't like how they looked. Too cluttered. Too ugly. So the number was cut to 16 plus 4 collapsibles. Total capacity 1,178 people. Titanic sailed with over 2,200 souls on board. Legally acceptable. Morally catastrophic. Says mistake number 3, steel that was too new. Steel was cutting edge in 1912. Stronger than iron, but harder to work with. In the curved sections of the ship's bow, steel rivets couldn't be installed properly, so builders used iron rivets instead. Softer, weaker, brittle in cold temperatures. Under enough stress, they didn't bend. They snapped, like a zipper. The night the ocean turned invisible. April 14th, 1912. No moon. Glass calm seas. Freezing air. Those conditions created a deadly optical illusion. A cold water mirage that erased the horizon. If the sea had been rough, waves would have broken against the iceberg. If the moon had been out, it would have reflected light. If the air had been warmer, the mirage wouldn't exist. But fate aligned everything perfectly. Against them. The radio room disaster. Titanic had the most advanced wireless system on Earth. While other ships reached 300 kilometers, Titanic could reach 650. Ice warnings flooded in. 6 ships reported ice. One of them, SS Californian, was completely surrounded by ice and had stopped for the night. The message reached Titanic's radio operator, Jack Phillips. Phillips was overwhelmed sending paid passenger messages, the real source of his income. And when Californian tried again, he snapped, "Shut up, I'm working Cape Race." The Californian's operator turned off his radio. That ship, at the closest one, would never hear Titanic's distress calls. 37 seconds. At 11:30 p.m., lookouts spotted a blur. No binoculars. They'd been locked away by mistake. 9 minutes later, it was clear. Iceberg right ahead. Second Officer William Murdoch had 37 seconds to act. Engines reversed. The ship began turning. But Titanic needed 800 meters to stop. The iceberg was 224 meters away. Too late. Instead of hitting head-on, which the ship might have survived, Titanic scraped along the iceberg's side. Iron rivets failed. 5 compartments flooded at once. 7 tons of water per second. The ship was doomed. The final failures. Titanic sank in 2.5 hours, shockingly fast. Lifeboats were launched half empty. Families were separated. Women and children first became women and children only. More than 1,500 people died. The closest ship never came. The next closest, Carpathia's, arrived hours too late. By then, Titanic rested 3,840 meters below the surface. Why Titanic really sank? Titanic didn't sink because of an iceberg. It sank because of design compromises, cost-cutting, arrogance, overconfidence, poor communication, and decisions that seemed reasonable until they weren't, and the world paid for those lessons in blood. The legacy written in ice. Because of Titanic, lifeboat laws changed. Radio silence became illegal. Bulkhead standards were rewritten. The International Ice Patrol was created. Modern ships are safer because Titanic failed. Today's largest ship, the Seawise giant, dwarfs Titanic like a toy. But none of them will ever carry the same warning, because Titanic wasn't a love story. And when you add modern giants like Symphony of the Seas, ships that are 3 times longer, 5 times heavier, and capable of carrying 3.5 times more people, comparing modern engineering to Titanic almost feels pointless. It's not a fair comparison. Technology has moved on. But here's the thing. No ship, no matter how large, how advanced, or how powerful, has ever occupied our collective memory the way Titanic has. Not because it was the biggest, not because it was the strongest, but because of the perfect storm of human error, rare circumstances, and the story that followed. Titanic didn't just sink into the Atlantic, it sank into culture, into history, into cinema. And maybe that's exactly how it should be, because some stories aren't meant to be replaced, they're meant to be remembered. I'll see you in the next video.